Hi guys, welcome back to Foot with Wally. Today I'll be analyzing the Europa League final during a match preview, and I'm going to talk about injuries, predicted lineups, tactical analysis, and who I think are going to win. So that's all of the things that you'll see in this video. So guys, let's start with injuries, because we have some injuries. Like by the way, with the X, you can see it's confirmed that he won't be at the final or in the final. So Bergvall for Tottenham, Bergvall, Kulusevski, Madsen, Dragushin, and Werner. And Sa is a doubt because we don't know, if we don't have confirmation if he will be fit or not. So we have to see. For Man United, we have Martinez, Zirkzee, Yoho, De Ligt, and Dalot. Obviously, guys, as a football fan, I would prefer if everyone was fit, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And even though you can say, oh, Spurs have more injuries, but I really think that the injuries from Manchester United are very important, because you can see Martinez centre back, Yoho centre back, De Ligt and Dalot, De Ligt centre back, Dalot right back. So a lot of doubts and a lot of injuries in the defense, which is extremely important in the final, because when you're playing a final, once you concede, it is extremely hard to overcome the disadvantage. On Spurs side, I think they lose, especially the midfield, because they lose Bergvall, Madsen, especially those two, Madsen, Bergvall, and even Kulusevski, because Kulusevski this season he's playing more as a CM/AM, even though he's a right wing. And then if they don't have Sa, if Sa is confirmed out of the final, like Spurs will lack a little creativity, like someone who can get the ball and say, let me create some chances, let me find a special pass, or let me try something surprising, something that requires technique and creativity and intelligence. I think Madsen can do this. I don't know if, for example, Bentancur or Bissouma can do this, or even Odegaard if he plays as a 10. I mean, if Odegaard plays as 10 in the second half, because I don't think he will start. And I'll show you this in my predicted lineups. So these are the predicted lineups, and like for Tottenham, I think it is very hard that it won't be those players to start the game. But for Man United, we have doubts, because for Man United, for example, we don't know if Yoho is fit. And if he is fit, Man United gains a lot of quality on the ball. Like instead of Shaw, he would play, or if De Ligt for some reason shows up fit, because we also do not have confirmation on his injury. We don't know if he will be fit for the final. To be honest, I believe he won't. Like De Ligt, I believe he won't. But he and Yoho, they have a lot of quality on the ball, like carrying the ball, passing. So I think that would be extremely important for Man United to have. And on the Spurs side, let's say if Man United play with Shaw, Maguire, and Lindelof, they have a very low defense in this case. So I think Spurs will be able to take advantage of this. And also another doubt that we have is if Diallo will play instead of Mason Mount, because I think Mason Mount for a final would be very good for Man United and would be very scary for Tottenham. But Diallo it's more like work rate player. He's also quality. He has quality. But I'm saying he will obey tactically to Remy Amorim. It's very unlikely that he will just do whatever he wants with the ball or something. But I think at the same time, I think that is extremely important in the final. For example, for Spurs, we have players who can get the ball and put numbers out of nowhere, like Solanke, Son, even Brennan Johnson, because Brennan Johnson is very hated. I don't know why this, because he is a good player. Like, he put numbers in the Premier League, which is literally the most difficult league in the world. And I also think that Richarlison and Solanke, they play as a double. I don't think Solanke will play as a proper number 10, like very fixed in the midfield, trying to create situations, passes, long balls, all of those things. I think he will play more as a double centre forward, like let's say 9.5, not a 10, not a 9. And that for me is the biggest Spurs advantage, because Højlund, guys, like when I saw him playing for Atalanta, he was good, but he was raw, and everyone knew this. When Man United signed him, I was like, I don't think he's ready for the Premier League, for the intensity and all of those things. Whereas if you see like Tottenham side, Richarlison, literally a World Cup player, Solanke, like amazing, score a lot of goals. It's very good off the ball, on the ball, all these things. Solanke is way better than Højlund. At least right now, I don't know. Like, I really think Højlund's ceiling is very high, but he hasn't get there yet. Another Spurs advantage is having Beccaria on the goal, because I do not like no one trusts Onana to play, to have a good performance and, let's say, get a title for Man United. The only aspect that I don't trust Vicario is on set pieces, because in set pieces, I don't know if it's him, if it's the system. I'm going to say set pieces in general. I think Vicario lacks that aura that the goalkeeper has. Like saying, oh, if you cross too close to the goal, I will get the ball before your strike or something. But usually what happens is someone blocks Vicario from getting out of the goal line, and then a lot of weird things start to happen. No one knows what's happening, then bang, a goal for the opponent. Man United is also very bad on set pieces. Like, they can't defend set pieces at all, especially corners as well. Like, the same problem as Tottenham, actually. I really think both teams are going to concede in this game. I think we'll have at least 4 goals in this game. Now, guys, what I think the teams are going to do, or are going to try to do, because sometimes you plan something and it goes completely different. I think Man United will try to exploit as much as possible long balls, crossing, and also set pieces. Set pieces, I think, are the key for Man United. Like, they have Casemiro, probably the best player on the pitch, by the way, in my opinion, is Casemiro. He's like an amazing player, and I think in final he can just show up with an amazing performance, score a goal, like a header or even like a long shot or something. I also think that Man United will try to overlap, like the wingers will try to overlap as much as possible. So Udogie and Pavaro will have to mark them, and Bruno will have more freedom to play. Also, when you play with a 3-2-4-1 or 3-4-2-1 or 3-2-5, by the way, all of those formations are the same. What you usually want to do is try to play with like advantage in number of players. What you try is attack with more players than the opponent will have to defend, because sometimes you have a 5 front, like 5 on the front, so you have more players than the opponent will have to defend. But obviously that is risky, because once Man United loses the ball in this situation, like attacking with a lot of guys, Son, Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, all of those guys kind of run behind the back, like in a counter attack. And I don't think United are very good at running backwards, because, as I said at the beginning, they have a very slow defense. So on Spurs side, I think the most important thing is pressing, like pressing as much as possible, right? You don't need to press every single player, but you need to press key players in order to the ball goes to Maguire, for example, and then there's hope he will make a mistake. I think Spurs will do this. We'll try to press as much as possible, press high, attack. If loses the ball, get the ball back as soon as possible, attack again, and get Man United desperate, because Man United is not so good at defending. So I think Spurs will try to press as much as possible. And if we're talking about pressing, we need to talk about work rate. And Solanke presses a lot. Like, he's a proper tactical player as well. He's good, but he's very tactical. He will obey anything Ange Postecoglou says to him to do. So, like, if he needs to press for 70 minutes non-stop, he will do. Richarlison as well. Richarlison press a lot. Richarlison helps defending. Solanke helps defending. I think the Spurs lineup is a very fast lineup, and long balls will be a problem for Man United. And also, even though I really think Spurs are horrible in set pieces, I think offensively they can score from a set piece in this game, because they have Romero and Solanke, and they're good in set pieces, like offensively speaking. And by the way, having Richarlison and Solanke both in the same team, I think will also help defending set pieces, because you get people that are taller. Basically, that's very obvious. You get people taller, and therefore it's easier to defend. It's easier to defend in set pieces. And also an aspect that I don't know if it will actually happen. I don't know if it's more like, I don't know if it's like media thing, but Tottenham needs a trophy. Like, they're desperate for a trophy. So I think they will like play with their lives, as if their lives were in danger or something. I mean, I obviously exaggerating, but I think it will be they will give everything on the pitch. But I don't know if that will be for Man United, because Amorim saying, if we win, like the season is still horrible, it's still atrocious, and I agree with this. But like in the final, I think you have to have that mentality of, we need to win this, even though it won't change the outcome or the general perception of our season. The season will still be horrible. It's a trophy, and we need to get this. Like, I think this is the mentality. I think Spurs will have this mentality, and I don't think United will have, and that is an advantage for Spurs. I think I've said I've said most things that are advantage for Spurs, but one thing that I don't see people talking about is the bench. And Man United have players on the bench that I think can come in like in the second half and change the game completely. If they don't start Mason Mount, for example, is a Champions League winner player. I don't think he will feel the pressure of playing a final. Be like, no, I'm scared. No, he will be very okay with the final. And also Eriksen is not like Eriksen from 2019, 2020, but it's still Eriksen. And Garnacho for, let's say, someone's to come in the second half and start running, start shooting, start doing a lot of crazy things. Basically, I'm saying that I think United have more options, offensive options on the bench, which in the final is extremely important because coaches, managers, they give a lot of importance of who will start, but they also give a lot of importance on who will finish the game. And on Tottenham's bench, I think they do not have so many good offensive options, because you can say, oh, Odegaard is good, but he's raw, he's a young player, and Tell is not so. I don't trust him so much at the moment. I think his ceiling is high, but I don't think like today for the next match he can be trusted as someone who will come in the second half and change the game completely. It can happen because they're professional players. They play in the Premier League, they play in the Europa League, they're good players, but they are not prepared, let's say. And Spurs will also have Mikey Moore, but I don't think, like, if I'm saying Odegaard and Tell, they're not prepared, imagine like Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore is very raw player, but I think he has a very good future and ceiling. When I say ceiling, I mean like a room for improvement. I think Mikey Moore has an amazing potential, but I think for now, I don't think he is prepared as well. And just to finish this part of the video, I wanted to say that it's funny because imagine the best 11 would be Spurs team with 2 Man United players. Like, it would be literally Spurs team with Bruno and Casemiro. That's it. Like the best 11 or the best combined 11. So guys, before giving my prediction on the result, just to recapitulate all the things I said, Spurs have the best 11, United have the best coach. Actually, I haven't said this, but I do think this. I do think Amorim is way better than Ange Postecoglou based on what we saw so far. Not in those teams, not in Man United and Tottenham, but in Portugal, Amorim was amazing. Basically, it was very good. And I obviously think that the Portuguese league is way better than the Scottish league. I mean, I hope you agree with me, guys, please. So United have on Casemiro the best player on the pitch, and I really mean it. I'm not saying this because Casemiro is, I don't know, because he's Brazilian or something. I do think this. Set pieces can go either way because both teams are horrible defending set pieces, and like both teams concede a lot of goals. They have horrible defending, and that's why I thought, or that's why I said that the result will be like that we will have at least 4 goals in the game. And last but not least, the bench. In my opinion, Man United have advantage on the bench. By the way, guys, I just realized my light died, so I have no idea when it happened. So if my face is dark here, I'm sorry about this. So let's see who I think are gonna win. Spurs just need good players, and that's what they have. I think the game will be 3-2 Spurs. Like, mark my words, 3-2 Spurs. Spurs will concede from a set piece, from a corner, but Solanke will score 2 goals and Son will score 1 goal. Trust me. And then you can come back here and say, oh, you were right, and I'll be, trust me. I'm kidding, I don't know the result, but like, I think it will be 3-2. Bye, see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Bye.